As this video plays in your ears right now, let me ask you something simple that suddenly gets uncomfortable. If you had the time and the money, could you just get in your car and drive from your home in North America all the way down to the bottom of South America? You clicked on a video titled, "Why You Can't Drive from North to South America," and that's not a cute phrase for views. Look at the thumbnail you saw. North America and South America pulled apart, with a strange gap between them. That empty space isn't just design. It exists on the map and on the ground. In your lifetime, you've seen highways slash through mountains and tunnels dug under oceans. So why does the pavement stop between these two continents? What is so dangerous, so sensitive, or so valuable that the world has left this one gap untouched? On paper, our world looks neatly stitched together. You've probably heard of the Pan American Highway, this legendary ribbon of asphalt people brag about. You can drive from Alaska all the way to the tip of South America. It sounds right, especially in an age when GPS draws one smooth blue line across whole continents. In your lifetime, you've watched travel transform. When a trip abroad was rare and expensive, when a single international phone call was a luxury. Now, you can zoom into almost any village on Earth with a pinch of your fingers. But that digital map creates a dangerous illusion that everything you see can be reached by road. It can't. The truth is, this famous highway has a missing link, a deliberate break between North and South America. And that raises an unsettling question. In a world that connects everything, what could be so problematic we've chosen not to connect it? That blank space between North America and South America isn't a glitch. It has a name: the Darién Gap. It's a stretch of wild land straddling the border between Panama and Colombia, where the last road in Central America simply stops, and the first real road in South America has yet to begin. On a map, it looks like just another patch of green. On the ground, it's dense rainforest, swampy lowlands, fast, unpredictable rivers, steep hills, poisonous snakes, clouds of insects, and mud that swallows boots. There are no gas stations, no motels, no highway patrol cars, only scattered indigenous communities, and, too often, armed groups who know the terrain better than any outsider. This is not a scenic detour. It's one of the least governed spaces in the Western Hemisphere. So why has this particular jungle, out of all the jungles on Earth, become the permanent off switch for the Pan-American dream? In your lifetime, you've seen humanity punch roads through deserts, drill under oceans, and tame mountain passes that once seemed impossible. So why should a strip of jungle stop us? The Darién Gap looks small on a globe, but it's a nightmare for engineers. Rain falls in torrential sheets, turning soil into sliding mud and washing away anything you try to build. Swamps refuse to hold foundations. Landslides shear off hillsides without warning. The jungle's roots and rivers constantly shift, quietly destroying anything permanent. It's also one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, where a single road could trigger mass deforestation and species loss. And then there's disease. For decades, experts have warned that a continuous road could help livestock plagues and crop pests spread across two continents. Yet if nature has never fully stopped us before, you have to wonder, what other forces are quietly keeping this wall in place? For decades, the Darién Gap hasn't just been hard to cross. It's been dangerous. Governments have long known that this jungle shelters more than trees. For years, guerrilla fighters, paramilitary groups, and drug traffickers have slipped through its shadows, using the tangle of rivers and ridges as cover. Police and armies are thin on the ground. Maps fade into rumor. Today, thousands of migrants from South America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia gamble their lives walking through it toward the United States and Canada. You hear about border crises on evening news, but rarely about this lethal stretch at the start of the journey. Panama, Colombia, and the United States understand this. A road would make movement easier for everyone, including cartels. Add in indigenous communities and environmental groups who fiercely oppose a highway, and the gap begins to look less like a failure and more like a deliberate barrier. Imagine if that last stretch were finally paved. No more blank between North America and South America. Just one continuous ribbon of highway. On the surface, it sounds exciting. Trucks rolling freely between the US and Brazil. Tourists driving from Canada to Patagonia. Faster aid and military response in disasters. But follow that road a little further in your mind. Every lane would also be a new artery for drug cartels, human traffickers, illegal loggers, and miners. The Darien's rainforest, one of the last great buffers for climate and biodiversity, could be chewed up by chainsaws and bulldozers. Diseases and invasive species would find an easier path too. You've already watched forests shrink, weather grow stranger, and borders struggle in your lifetime. So would this highway be progress, or the kind of short-term victory future generations curse us for when they inherit a hotter planet and a far more porous hemisphere? So when you hear why you can't drive from North to South America, it isn't really about a missing construction project. It's about a deliberate absence, that thin blank between North America and South America. On the thumbnail stands for jungle, fear, politics, and a fragile shield of nature all at once. In your lifetime, you've seen continents pulled closer, cheap flights, container ships, fiber optic cables. Yet this one stretch of land still says no to the idea that everything must be paved and connected. Some see the Darién Gap as a tragedy of underdevelopment. Others as a last refuge we're not ready to sacrifice. The real question is what comes next. Will your grandchildren live in a world where a highway finally slices through this green barrier? Or will the Darien remain one of a few places on Earth where geography still quietly overrules human ambition?